Greetings, gacha fanatics, gacha haters, and people who know about gacha games unwillingly and have mixed feelings about the whole concept. It's a We Elite Dolphin world out there, and together, we're going to dive right in. This is Soulmates, Gone Fishin', your survival guide to gacha jank and gacha brilliance. I am not Ivy Fox, who is presently recovering from surgery. Nevertheless, you can send her your well wishes at Ivy Foxart on co-host, and go listen to her horror fiction podcast, The Mad Bird, on your podcast app of choice. Joining you instead is Ash. That's me. If you just kind of, imagine an apple. Now, think about, how detailed is your apple? Is it, a sketch of an apple? Is it like a drawing of an apple? Is it like one of those clip art things of an apple? Or is it like a real apple? Could you touch it and then you just kind of take a bite of it? And imagine how it tastes and, oh, what's that? It's a worm. That's me. I'm in there. Our theme is by Svenu's Electronicos, who you can find on Bandcamp, and our cover art is by Rygarden, who you can find on Instagram. And in the mess of my little Apple intro, I forgot to mention that I run the co-host for the show at Soul-Maids-Podcast, and you can't find me on any social media, but you can find me at Ko-Fi at Asherlark. On this mini-series, we're taking a turn away from visual analysis of gacha games to instead focus on the experience of playing a gacha game. In service of this, each week I'm going to pick up a new gacha game and record for you a daily log of my observations from good to bad to ugly. This week's game is Food Fantasy, which is described on the App Store as, I didn't pull this up beforehand. This always happens to me. Described on the App Store as a, quote, food personified RPG adventure management game. Inspired by hundreds of recipes from around the world, the group of world-renowned artists and voice actors have brought food to life, giving them unique personalities, stories, looks, and designs. In-game, you'll be able to engage in combat with your food souls, collect ingredients, develop recipes, and create your very own world-class restaurant. Well, that sounds exciting. Okay, this is week 2 of Soulmates Gone Fishin'. Food Fantasy is a game that I came across when I was looking up on Reddit what people's favorite obscure gacha games were. And I got just utterly entranced by this concept on an animalistic level. Because who doesn't want their gacha, waifus to be, fish and chips? Who doesn't want to aesthetically admire the beauty of a humanized hamburger? I had a fun little game earlier with my friends where they would name food items, and I would see if that food item was a character in Food Fantasy. And this will come as a surprise to you, the vast majority of them were. Cheese is there. Boston lobster. Rice. We've got, dorayaki. There's a lot of Japanese, Chinese food in here. We've got, I don't know how to pronounce this. Bubayaz is the name of that soup. We've got all kinds of soups. We've got bird's nest soup. There's a lot. It is a veritable treasure trove of food-based guys. And this is awesome. And so I was like, well, I need this. And also I heard that there was a restaurant management aspect, and I was like, this sounds pretty nice. And so I decided to pick this up. This is the game I've been most excited about playing for Gone Fishin'. So, we started off on a relatively low point, and now we're going immediately up to the highest heights. And this is the energy that I'm bringing to this mini-series. So I downloaded Food Fantasy. Admittedly, I'm recording this a day late, because I was so engrossed in it yesterday and today. So I'm recording this the following afternoon. But I booted it up. I downloaded it. The download was really fast. It's not like one of those gacha games. I haven't crashed at all. And I haven't had any performance issues. I've had, extremely minimal lag. My phone hasn't heated up at all. Genuinely, I'm really impressed by the performance of this game. And I imagine that's because there wasn't a big download at the beginning, like they usually have in these gacha games, where you, have to download 5 gigs of data, to go along with just the documents download you got from the App Store. You know how it is. I didn't do that. I just downloaded the thing, and then it immediately let me start playing, and I was like, oh, okay. The basic gameplay loop of Food Fantasy appears to be, I'm pretty far into this game by now, so I feel like I can do this. There are battles. They're mostly auto battles while your guys fight, by themselves. It's not an idle game. I specifically excluded any kind of, idle RPGs from my, gacha adventures, just because I felt like, I don't know, I want to actually play for a certain amount of time per day, or else my little experiment doesn't really work. But they're mostly auto battles, but you have to tap on, the boss's weak points. You have to tap to make sure minions go away and unfreeze your guys and all this kind of stuff. So there's various things that you could do during the fight, but otherwise the DPS output is mostly dependent on just your guys fighting for themselves. And when you clear a stage, you get experience, you get, maybe, gacha currency, and you get ingredients. And so you go through the stages, and each stage has a different, ingredient that it's best to farm. After you finish a stage, you can, with 3 stars, I think it's with 3 stars. I've never finished a stage with anything less than 3 stars, so I wouldn't know. You can spend the 3 stamina that you would have used to go into the stage to instead just auto-complete it and just give you the rewards. This is really, really helpful, because it doesn't cost any more than just doing the stage would. It's instant. There's no, and now wait 10 minutes. It's instantaneous. And the rewards are relatively consistent, so if you need, 10 potatoes, you just go and sweep, the potatoes level 10 times. You can do 20 at a time, of those sweeps, and it'll give you all the rewards at once. It's super, super, super helpful. So I really like that. And then you use your ingredients to go run your restaurant. So you can develop new recipes. All of the recipes are in a little guidebook, and it gives you hints as to what ingredients are used to make them. If you think you have the ingredients to make a new recipe, you just put them together in the research, area, and then you wait 10 minutes, and then if you got it right, then you get a new recipe. And then, if you have enough ingredients to make, stir-fried potatoes or whatever, then you just make them, and then it increases their point value. It increases some of their traits, and then once you've made enough of them, you get to level it up, and then it becomes a C grade stir-fried potatoes instead of a D grade. This is very nice. This is a pretty satisfying thing. That's how you upgrade your food and your recipes. The actual restaurant management is that you have to assign some of your food souls, your units, to be waiters, waitstaff, and you have to assign some of them to be chefs. And when they're doing that, they can't battle, which is something I do find a little bit annoying. This is a problem that I have a lot with gacha games, is that there's often a mechanic where it's well, if you're not using a unit, you can use it to do this. And I'm wait, but what if I need them? So when I was starting out in the game, they give you 5 units, I think, to start. 3 or 5, I can't quite remember now. They give you milk, hawthorn ball, I think, sandwich, Oh, and then you get 2 polls, and so I got black tea and tom yum. I think those are the automatic polls, but I'm not entirely sure. And so you have 3 guys who you can use to put in the restaurant, and 2 guys you can use to go out into battle. You don't need to have, 2 waitstaff on. You can leave that, one of those slots empty. 2 of the guys you get at the beginning are, instead of having a normal rating system for, rarity, they do have a normal rating system where it's, rare, super rare, ultra rare. But then there's a lowest level of guys who I think you all get automatically through various means. But I believe that the rating they are is manager instead of, normal. And I think this is because they have a lot of restaurant skills, and so you're not really supposed to use them in a fight, but I'm not sure. So you use them to run the restaurant, and then you have a little team of 3, and it's oh, okay, I need polls. One thing I have had trouble with in this game is I'm having a lot of trouble getting currency. It seems I've been engrossed in this game. I was falling asleep playing Fate Grand Order, and this game I've been really, really, focused on it. And I think it's honestly just because, as opposed to Fate, where I always felt like I was swimming in, EXP materials and ascensions and pulls, and so I never really had any struggle. I feel like in this game there's always something that I need to be doing. So I always need to be getting more EXP. I always need to be leveling up my dishes. I always need to be completing the side quests. Also, this game has a quest system, which is, not strictly just progress through the story nodes. I actually don't think that the story nodes, I wouldn't call them story nodes in this game. They're just the battle stages. Progressing through the battle stages, they don't have a story of their own. The main quest line is separate, so that instead of always asking you to clear a battle stage, sometimes they just ask you, go collect 10 bread. Or, do this special encounter, that is only available through the quest. Stuff like that. And so next to the main quest, they have all these side quests, which are, level up 5 food souls to level 15, make 10 dishes, collect 10 shrimp, serve 100 customers, stuff like that. Do delivery orders. And so I'm always trying to complete a bunch of little side quests. They got me. They know I play Final Fantasy XIV. They know I love doing side quests instead of the main stuff. And so I'm always I need to get to the level that lets me farm tomatoes, because I have a tomato quest going on, but my guys aren't high enough level, so if I go back, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I can farm EXP and get potatoes to upgrade stir-fried potatoes to B, and if I do that, then, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The actual restaurant management is not super engaging in terms of just, prepping the food and making sure you have it. But, number go up, the number sure does go up. I think that's a pretty solid overview of what this game is like. And I have just completely gone off for a bit instead of looking at my notes. Here are my notes. So, when I was playing Fate, anytime that there was something, janky that didn't quite work, I was well, this is one of the highest grossing gacha games of all time, and it's been running for 7 years on global servers. Can this be better, please? This game, half of the things that come up if you search for food fantasy on google.com is is food fantasy dead? People are not talking actively about the gacha game Food Fantasy. This is a crying shame. But because of this, I forgive it for so many sins, such as the translation in this game it's rough. it's not normal or good. Everything is phrased so awkwardly. And some things are phrased awkwardly, like, on purpose. All of the recipe hints are like, well, if you, the thing which is laid by a chicken mixed with a long white grain will get you egg fried rice. But, like, everything is so just, like, not designed to be in English. You just have to trust me on this one. It's really bad. The voice direction is not good. The opening cutscene was like, as a food soul, it's my duty to exterminate fallen angels, and it's rice fighting Boston lobster. I love this game. Everything is so weird. It's just not localized well. And instead of thinking that this is, like, janky and I don't like it, I think this is so weirdly charming, because this game is just not a high-budget operation. World-renowned artists and voice actors come together to bring food to life. I was really surprised that you actually do have your food souls work in your restaurant. You get to pick a type of cuisine, and this just affects the type of recipes you have access to at the beginning. I picked Light Kingdom cuisine, which is described as like, oh, you just stir-fry things, which is very funny. You can't have the same name as another user, so I was, like, looking forward to just being Ash again, but I had to be Ash or Lark, because someone else is already Ash. Very sad. I already said the voice direction is very bad. It's very bad. I mean, I'll play some voice clips in the interstitial sections if I can, like, extract them from the wiki. I haven't actually checked the wiki to see whether or not they have the voice lines already recorded, but it is... oh boy, it's rough. I did suffer from a bug yesterday that wouldn't let me log in for a few hours, was a little frustrating, but it might have been my phone's fault, because my phone was bugging out. I found out a little bit later, so, I don't know. This is not, I did go look this up on Reddit, though, and it seemed like someone else experienced this at some point. So, dunno whether this is Food Fantasy being buggy, or just me having not restarted my phone in several days. Every stage has, reviews, which, this is awesome. Every single, battle stage, you can click on the reviews button, and it'll show you, like, the top reviews or the new reviews, and it's just people, like, talking about the stage, and so this is genuinely very helpful, because it gives you access to, like, people telling you, oh, this is what the farming thing is here, here's how to beat the stage, blah, 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 this is the best stage for cucumbers. But it's also comedy gold. There's a lot of horny people, which is shocking, because, I mean, I'm not talking about the art in this game very much intentionally, because I would not be able to stop myself. I think it's, like, incredible. I think it's so charming. But the people in this game are, like, the most clothed gacha characters I've ever seen in my life. But people are so weird. It's more funny than it is disturbing. But, like, a couple of highlights I picked up on, someone said, why are we even here? Why are you reading this? Why are you playing this game? Why do I even exist? Thank you for the review. That was on the, beef farming stage. Lots of people, there's some, like, boring stuff in the comments, like if you have an ultra rare, like if you made it this far, add me, da-da-da-da. But also people making very good jokes about the type of food that you're farming in that stage. I did see one that just said best the meat zone, which is very good. There was a shrimp heaven now that was highly upvoted. I appreciated that. At one point I was playing this game and the background music disappeared randomly. Also, when you're in the middle of main quests, it just, like, overlays a cutscene over the main menu. So whatever your character is that you have out on the main menu who talks to you occasionally will just, like, pipe in the middle of cutscenes and be like, it's so quiet. Thank you, Milk. It's incredible to call all of these guys by just, like, food names. It's so funny. There's no voice acting, which I'm glad. I mean, there's voice acting, like, for the individual characters' menu lines, which is also very funny, because, like, this is one of those games where you press the upgrade skill button and it just plays the same line, like, 3 times over. As your butler, as your butler, as your butler. That one's Brownie. I've been playing a lot of this game. I put in my notes, cost nothing with the same stamina, use replay it normally, for the auto-repeat. You do have to farm a lot of ingredients. Like, one recipe will cost 3 of the same ingredient, and 1 run of a stage will give you 1 of that ingredient. But the fact that you can do it so fast is, like, really helpful. You also don't need to actually have the ingredients if you are, preparing it in the restaurant. It just costs money. And then you get money, from the sales. And also fame. I have found it difficult sometimes to figure out how to progress best. I think I've mostly made it past this, like, part where I was, the main quest wouldn't unlock until it was, like, until you're player level 12, you can't do the next part of the main quest. I'm now, advancing in player level faster than I'm going through the main quest, which is nice. But, there were points where I was like, okay, but what can I do to increase my player level? And the answer was just like, well, just go farming. Just go farm for EXP. I was like, okay. I do really I love this system in gacha games where your character's maximum level is the same as your maximum level. The first game I thought of that has this system is New Carnival. God bless. Shoutouts to that shit. I do really like it because it just kind of, like, slows down your progression a little bit. It incentivizes you less to just, like, dump all of your EXP into one character, which is a thing that annoys me and that I don't like to do. But I have also, since I've outpaced, like, the main quest stopping me, I've also outpaced, having enough EXP to upgrade all my units, which is a little irritating, but, that's my fault. There's a Sudoku thing, what they're calling Sudoku, it's not Sudoku, there's a little, like, roulette thing in the gacha, screen right now from an event, where you spend your crystals, which are the paid currency, on, a spin on the roulette, and it gives you either the grand prize or it gives you one of the smaller prizes, and if you get the grand prize or you get all prizes, you can move on. This is misleading because it just means get the grand prize to move on, but you can move on to the next board, which has better stuff in it. Here's the thing, is there's 11 boards of this. You can only buy 17 rounds, and I did get every prize on the first board before I got the grand prize, so I think I'm fucked in that regard. I noted this in my notes just because I found it kind of funny. There is some real challenge to the battle system, I've found. I instinctively, when I was starting out, just kind of, like, would put the screen off to the side when a battle was happening. So I was like, this will just play out on its own, and it'll be kind of slow. But I do actually have to pay attention to what's going on screen, because it's always asking me to, like, tap away healing minions or, interrupt skills and stuff. And so at the very least, it requires you to be engaged. And I also appreciate that there is some skill required to choosing which of your cooking skills to bring in. Your cooking skills you get with cooking points, and they're just like, little things that will activate, that you can activate once the battle has gone on for enough seconds, and then you have to wait the recharge time, etc., etc., etc. And so you can bring damaging ones, you can bring healing ones, you can bring buffing ones. So there is some strategy to that. And also using them at the right time. It's kind of nice. That's all I put in my notes for yesterday. I'll come back later and record for today. I've already played a good 2 hours straight earlier, but I still have a little bit more to play today, hopefully. I'm waiting for my stamina to recharge. I'm already deep in the food fantasy fucking magic circle. So I'll come back and record today's notes a little bit later. And hopefully I'll have enough to summon something by then, because I don't have any summons for today so far, and I was really hoping I could get a 10 pull in every day like I did last time. But the 10 pull I did yesterday gave me Peking Duck, Spicy Gluten. Shout out to fucking Spicy Gluten. Hi, my name is... Listen, the food that I am, it's Spicy Gluten. Life-giving Spicy Gluten. Sakura mochi, omu rice, tempura, sake, dorayaki, and gyoza. And then obviously I got tom yum and black tea from my initial summons, but I think those are default units, I don't know. Black tea has a combo skill with milk, so I assume so. I do really like the linking skill system. It's very charming. It means that you have to build your teams around, keeping certain units together, because they have a linking skill together, and I just kind of like that. It's just, I like that units have a special thing that one other unit, is linked to them for. So that's all for day one of my adventure into food fantasy. I will be back soon with reports from my second day of food fantasy, and they'll probably be pretty short because I already said most of the things today. I'll see you then.
Can you not touch my horns? They're very troublesome to maintain.
Hello, it's me again. A couple hours later. I mean, more than a couple hours later. It's the evening now. Day 2 of food fantasy. Exciting stuff. Like I said, I don't actually have a lot to talk about. I, talked, after doing 2 hours of gameplay for today, earlier, and so I, only have, 1 hour of experiences to share with you. I didn't even bother taking notes. But I do have a couple of observations. First of all, I've set my mascot character on the main screen to be Peking Duck, because I was tired of Milk's voice lines. Again, listen, food names. It's very, very funny to refer to a person with the name Milk. But her voice lines kept being like, "I'm so happy to serve you," and it was like, okay, you don't sound like it, so I don't really want to hang out with you. So I've set it to Peking Duck, who is my only ultra rare, and he is, he has, an energy. He's like a devoted father. He's got a bunch of little ducklings, in his lap all the time, and he just talks about, "Oh, master attendant, the children, they wouldn't settle down without you." And it's like, okay, I can get into this. I unlocked a feature called the Ice Arena, and I was like, oh, for fighting? No. It's where you put your guys to recover their freshness, which is their energy. I didn't know of any way to recover freshness other than using items before, which is very weird that they gated this behind, level 10. But it's called the Ice Arena because, hold on, I have the game pulled up right now for reasons that will become quickly evident. It's called the Ice Arena because, you put in your tired food souls to a place that is called the One Layer Quick Freezing Room. I love the translation in this game. And they just they get in their little battle sprites and they just slide around. They just, bump into each other and they just slide around on the ice. And then they gradually recover their freshness. You put them in the fridge. It's that's what the deal is. But none of this was, like, conveyed to me, so I just learned that I unlocked the ice arena, and it was like, put some guys in here, and I was like, okay, and then they just sort of slid around, and I was like, what's happening? So I checked back in a bit, and they'd recovered freshness, and I was like, oh, okay. But it was very, very strange. They really do just, like, you just open it, and you just watch them go. They're like Blu-ray screensavers. Anyway, I also unlocked just recently the airship, which is actually quite fun. I like doing delivery orders, which is where they ask you, like, can you bring me a certain amount of these dishes, and then, you know, send out your delivery bike for, like, half an hour and come back and you'll get rewards. There are versions of these called public orders, which everyone on the server gets, and you have to, like, everyone on the server contributes to a total amount of orders filled, which are nice. They give you very good rewards. So do the disasters, which are the same thing, but they're just global boss fights. I submitted, you know, some damage to a disaster with my piddly little, like, level 12 team yesterday, and I got my reward today in the mail, and it was like, you were rank 700. I was like, there's not that many players playing this game, I guess, and so they gave me many rewards, which I appreciate. But the airship is just a version of those deliveries, but not time sensitive and doesn't take up any, you know, like, use of your guys. If you send somebody out on delivery, you can't use them in a fight. Again, I found this kind of annoying. Same thing with the working in the restaurant. So you deliver the amount of things they want to the airship. There's like 4 crates, and you fill all of them, and then you send off the airship, and then you get rewards. It's very nice. I like, you know, I just like making the number go up. I like filling requests. It's all very satisfying to me. And so this is a nice little feature for me. I think that's all I was going to talk about today. I haven't gotten to do any polls. This game continues to be kind of, like, not super poll rich. But I am checking. No, I didn't successfully develop black pepper beef. This is so sad. I have to go use my failed development. Here, I'll turn on the little music, see if you can hear it.
The children's mood seems pretty good today.
Yeah, there's Peking Duck. The children's mood seems pretty good today. Don't get my cooking points from failing to develop a recipe. So I have 1,500 soul embers, and that's enough to do 1 good temple. I was briefly tempted by the event that's going on right now for 3 days, where you exchange your soul embers like 3 to 1 for if you can get, you know, 3 pulls worth of soul embers gets you 1 pull worth of items for this, and you can only do 10 pulls. And so you do a 10 pull with, like, you know, 3 times the amount of soul embers you normally would, and you just get a guaranteed guy. You know, whatever ultra rare you want. And I was briefly tempted by this because event's shiny, but I decided that I'm smarter than that, and so we're gonna do a normal 10 pull, and I'm gonna do it here because I have very little else to talk about today. So this is the chewy, savory, and sweet event banner. Once you do enough 10 pulls on this, your probability of getting a certain ultra rare, which I guess is braised dongpo pork, goes up. And so we'll see how we do. I don't have a lot of guys, so I imagine I'm going to get some guys from this. Draw 10 times.
Yellow wine, am one of the 3 ancient alcoholic beverages of the world. I have done you the honor of coming to see you, but you have to keep me well entertained.
Yellow wine, one of the 3 ancient alcoholic beverages of the world. Cool. Next.
Meeting with me is a symbol of good luck. Now let us have a merry festival.
That's Taiyaki. Oh, that's cute. She's got a little banner with a taiyaki on it. She's got, like, fish scale designs on her clothes. That's kind of nice. That's 2 rares now. Oh, it's a repeat of Tom Yum.
Master attendant? From now on, I will protect you.
I forgot to bring up my new favorite review, which is Tom Yum Stop Dying Challenge. I find this very relatable.
That which destiny decrees cannot be avoided, while that which destiny does not decree cannot be forced.
That's long bow, which I guess is a type of tea, based on what I'm seeing here. Fun? Very androgynous. Okay. No voice line? Just none? I thought you were gonna read the... Okay, the voice line says, out of my way. What? You're my master attendant? Then follow me. And the CV listing is just ... question mark. So I guess this guy doesn't have a voice actor, maybe. This is Buddha's Temptation, which is an ultra rare. I would love to know what type of food Buddha's Temptation is. I'll have to look it up after this.
Hey, is this the next stop of our trip? What fun will happen here? I'm so excited.
This is super rare milk tea. I like this because I have both black tea and milk, and I have a linked skill, and so it's kind of fun to have milk tea. She's got little tapioca bubbles around her, which is adorable. There's another Tom Yum. They love to give me Tom Yum.
From now on, I will protect you.
Sure will. They love to give me Tom Yum. This is nice because I'll get to ascend him and then he gets stronger, I think.
Oh, hey! You're the one who has summoned me. I'm so happy. Will you treat me kindly?
That's Macaron. She has a circus theme going on, I guess. Thanks. That's another rare.
Hello?
I recognize that voice. I'm not sure who else Stephanie Kimura has voiced that I am familiar with, but I recognize that voice. Default sort of shy child voice. This is Jun Yang. Also a little girl with just like a fleece blanket wrapped around her. Quite nice.
Oh my. You're master attendant? You really are a beauty. Let me take good care of you from now on.
That's orange juice. I should have told you to start a game where you guess what type of food all of these are. This is orange juice. Okay, great. So that's 6 rares, a super rare, and an ultra rare with 2 duplicates. So not bad for a temple. I'm quite pleased with that. I guess I'll ascend Tom Yum while I'm at it. Should just, be playing 3 hours of this and just record myself playing this for 3 hours. And that's good audio.
Power does not appear overnight. I must work even harder.
That's the sound of Tom Yum getting ascended. Okay, great. So that's day 2. I really like this game. It's very stupid, but I'm really enjoying myself. And so I'll be excitedly coming back tomorrow, probably with no more gacha pulls, but certainly with more things to report than today. So I'll see you then.
Master Attendant, please look after the children whilst I'm away. They know you very well now.
Hello! Welcome back to Soulmates Gone Fishin'. It's day 3 of Food Fantasy. Today I don't have a lot of notes, and I didn't get to do any gacha pulls because this game continues to be very light on the amount of gacha currency it gives me, which is very sad because I like all the characters very much. I do have a favorite now. It's a new favorite. My new favorite is Milk Tea. I just like to have a healer, in practical purposes, but also I think her design is the cutest of everyone I have right now. The problem is that her voice lines are less well performed than Peking Duck, so I might switch back. I don't have enough EXP to level up all my guys to the same level as I am usually now, and so I feel like an overworked mother who can't feed all my children, but then I realized I probably have this impression because Peking Duck is always on my main screen going, Master Attendant, the children! I unlocked the PvP today. I don't like gacha games that have PvP in them. This has been established. It's fine. I do like that it gives you a chance to establish a different offensive versus defensive team. I'm not sure I have my strategy quite right on that, because I went for the defensive team to be really all healing and defense, totally block out the other team from getting their offense through. But maybe I should just be going for killing them, who knows. But my assault squad is, like, all offense with one healer. So, shrug. All my characters are magic type. There's 4 types of characters in this game, which determines their positions in battle. Support characters are healers. They do nothing but heal, and they stand in the very back. Defense characters do weak attacks, but are strong tanks, and their specials usually heal themselves or buff themselves. And they will stand in the absolute front. Strength characters, which I think is another quirk of the translation in this game, are your, like, frontline fighters. They'll go behind the defense characters, and they do big damage with their regular attacks. And then magic characters are your backline fighters, and they do big damage with their special attacks and not as much damage with their regular attacks. As far as I can tell, this is all stuff that I intuited myself and not things that I learned from any official source. I also did a lot of doing hard stages today, as in, like, stages in the actual... Did I ever explain this? There's, like, a main story, or not story, there's a main, like, series of battle nodes, and then there's another one, which is the hard series, which has, like, much stricter level requirements, the enemies are much tougher, and also there are clear conditions to get 3 stars on them that are like, don't use any defense characters, don't use any support characters, stuff like that. Which is cool. I've been really enjoying the hard content. I really like it when this kind of thing, when gacha games do this kind of thing, where you can access what is essentially upper level content, when you are at a low level. It's like, again, this kind of, like, power scaling along with your user level rather than just allowing you to scale up all your characters to max immediately is very much encouraging you to, like, get used to how the game plays, gradually grow your strength, and then you will run up against a wall where you can't exceed suggested level counts eventually. But there is a soft wall all the time that's like, well, my max level is 24, but, if I want to progress, I should beat this hard level, which has a recommended level of 23, and I could wait, but I don't have to wait, So I really like it. I really like the team comp aspect of things these days. There's, like, genuinely quite a bit of thinking that I have to do about, like, well, do I want to do 2 healers and, sacrifice some DPS, or do I want to blah, 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 blah. If I had a strength character who was super rare or higher, I would have a little bit more strategy to work from. But as it is, I have one support character who is super rare, and every other super rare character... Well, I have a defense character that's super rare as well. Every other super rare or ultra rare character I have is magic type. I need anything else. I learned what Buddha's temptation is. It's a type of shark fin soup, which, shark fin soup contributes, obviously, to the, declining population of sharks around the world, and so however, I can't deny that this sounds inherently pretty cool, and apparently it's called Buddha's temptation because of the way that, like, the richness of this shark fin soup would tempt non-meat eating Buddhists away from their, diets. And he straight up has no voice lines. I will check the wiki, I guess. I could do it right now, but I'm not going to. I guess I'll check the wiki to see if he has any that I just haven't unlocked somehow, but he just has none, as far as I can tell. If he has one, then you might hear it next. I don't know. I can't really specify which voice lines you're about to hear, because that's not how my editing works. But I'll try and put in a girl's voice if Buddha's Temptation has no voice lines, and I'll put in Buddha's Temptation voice if he does, and I just haven't seen them. Oh, the first PvP match I did, I accidentally quit out in the middle because Ivy texted me and I wanted to text Ivy back. And so I just, like, switched out tabs like a fool while I was literally in the middle of a PvP fight, and then I came back and my game had reloaded and I lost. But losing, as it often is in these kinds of, like, gacha PvP things, it isn't like a strict ladder where you just go up or down based on wins and losses. It's, you pick fights you know you can win. Losing a fight also gives you some progress points, and there's not a lot of penalty for losing. You know how it is. Or maybe you don't. In which case, I guess we'll have to explain it better, but later. I noticed today, because they do a good job of putting this very loudly on screen, in the daily stages, which are like farming for EXP, or seasonings, which are an upgrade material, or outfit to unlock tokens, which are really funny. In those stages, they actually have different special, like, what's the word I use? Special rules, which, test different types of team comp. So I was doing the outfit one, because, you only get 3 of these a day, and so I might as well do all of them. There's also no way to skip them. This is, I guess, the trade-off that you get if you can skip through all regular content you've already beaten, is that you have to actually do your dailies. But the enemy at the start of that fight says, see if you can survive for 60 seconds. And then the enemy just attacks non-stop, really, really fast. Does one big boss attack at the end, but otherwise just really, really fast attacks. And so it's just a test of how good your healing and defense is. And so I put both of my healers up. I might have put 3 healers up, actually, and 2 defense. And we just played the waiting game. Oh no, I definitely put Black Tea and Milk both up so that Milk could use her linking skill, which is a party-wide heal. Speaking of linking skills, I discovered today that they're not always just like 2 characters who have a reciprocal linking skill. Black Tea wants Milk, and Milk wants Black Tea, but like, Omarice wants Orange Juice, but Orange Juice wants a different unit. I discovered one that I think is like a chain of at least 4. This is kind of exciting. I hope that they link back up at the end, because that would be fun. It would just, give you a whole team to work with. They don't have to link back up at the end, I guess. It's just, it's very cool. But yeah, the rules for the farming stages, survive for 60 seconds, and then once there are 10 seconds left in the battle, the enemy will go, I'm bored. You don't have to actually defeat it, you just have to survive. Actually he goes, I'm tired. The seasonings one, you have to defeat the enemy in 60 seconds. No healing needed, no defense needed. The enemy will heal itself if your DPS is not fast enough. And after 60 seconds, it does a party wipe. But otherwise it will not attack. It says, I'll give you 60 seconds free. I'm getting better at that one. I can now clear it without it healing once. Previously I was depending on my DPS to get it down to a certain amount. And then I would, have saved up enough of my, manager skill power, I guess, to use my own DPS attacks, which would just push it over the edge, but I don't need to do that anymore. They just defeated it in 1 cycle, and I don't even need to help. And then I don't really understand how the EXP one works exactly. All I know is it says, all enemies are immune to normal attacks. I think this means that only skills and specials do damage against them, but you don't have any control over when skills are activated, so it's very strange. I think it just lessens your overall DPS output. And so I just use my normal team for it, but it's pretty interesting. Anyway, these are all pretty clever ways to test your various team compositions and also get you used to using different team compositions for different situations, and I really like this. For the daily missions, you don't use one of your, quote, teams. You have a certain number of team slots which increases as you level up your account. You start with just 1, and then you get 2, and then you get 3. I have 3 at the moment. But the annoying thing about teams is that a food soul can only be in one place at once. So if they're in the lobby, they can't be on a team. Lobby being the restaurant. If they're working in the restaurant, they can't be on a team. If they're on team 1, they can't be on team 2. This is intensely annoying. Whenever I want to change up my main battle node, character party composition. I have to manually go in and adjust it every time, even if I know which characters I want for different situations. Hate that. But as a trade-off for daily content showdowns, which is the PvP mode, etc., it doesn't use your team layout at all. And so you just adjust things, and it also saves what team you were using previously for each daily challenge. So I went back to the damage-focused one, and I saw that I had no healer set already, because I had done that one before, which is very nice. I wish that, the normal game had this kind of functionality, but it's because you use your teams for deliveries, and so, Team 2 and 3 will probably be ones that you're sending out for delivery. And this is just, blah, blah, blah. But when they're out for delivery, you can't use them in battle, and this and that and the other, so, it's very strange. It's very odd. And the last thing I discovered today, or I didn't discover this today, but I don't think I mentioned it earlier. I don't know what the fondness mechanic does, but you feed your food souls the copies of dishes that you make while you're researching your dishes to get them higher level. Each food soul has a favorite food, which they get more fondness if you feed them that. As well as one item, which is just always a straight 30 points for anybody. And you can feed them 5 dishes a day. I have 2 of my food souls' favorite foods. I have Longbao and Sake, who like stir-fried potatoes and braised pork, I think, respectively. And so I can feed them their preferred food every day. I'm currently just doing them because they're the ones who are going to get up to 200 fondness, which is the max soonest, and I want to see what happens. Do I get a bond up when this happens? This is what I want to know. So I'll report back with results of that experiment. But yeah, that's what happened today. I didn't play a ton today because I was very, very tired. I stayed up all last night. Here's my personal diary section. I stayed up all last night watching a Limbus Company update live stream, and that's really embarrassing. Is I just, I spent the whole time playing my other gacha game, or focusing on it, not playing it, and so I didn't play my work gacha game. And so I'm running on very little sleep right now, and immediately as soon as I record this, I'm gonna go to bed. But, you gotta do what you gotta do. I got in my food fantasy time as I could. It helps that I actually want to play this game, and I also feel like I don't necessarily have to sit down and, focus on it nonstop all the time, because the story is just, a small component of the main progression. And so I don't have to, and also there's no voice acting or anything in the story, so I can just, click in, do some dailies, do some grinding, and not feel super obligated to, have it on full volume, full focus while I'm playing for this, which is kind of nice. I wish I had more polls, though. I love my guys, but I want more guys. The instinctual, desire to get more guys. Maybe I'm just greedy. And it was foolish to hope that I could get a 10 poll for every day on each of the games that I'm playing, but I'm used to games that give their new players so much fucking currency, and this is not necessarily doing that, but it'd probably do it if I went through the main story a little faster. Que sera, sera. So, tomorrow we will do some more of this. I'm really enjoying myself, so I hope that I will continue enjoying myself as I unlock more and more unhinged little features. So I'll see you then.
俺の邪魔をするな。何？あんたが俺の恩師だと？だったら俺の後についてこい。
Hello! Welcome back. People, it's been an exciting day. I did a summon. I got 3 guys. I got 7 guys who were repeats and 3 guys who were new. It was not a very exciting summon, but I did do a summon. And then I almost got enough currency for another summon, which is exciting. I wish I could have done another one. But I guess it's better to save it for another day, so I have more things to talk about. And if you're saying, well, Ash, you've been talking about how hard it is to get currency in this game for, the entire time. Guys, I've hit player level 30. So upon hitting player level 30, I'm not going in the order of my notes, it's okay. I unlocked a feature called, quote, Do It All King, unquote, which is like another series of quests, which just like is, have you done X, Y, and Z inside the game? It's kind of a beginner's thing. Once you've done everything, you get a grand prize. But the rewards for these are so much better than the rewards for the other, quests that I have. There's growth quests in the same tab as your dailies, which will also give you stuff for just like general progress in the game. But it is way less than these. And so I got a ton of EXP, I got a ton of currency. Now that I've hit level 30, I feel like the game has really opened up. I rapidly started progressing through some of the harder stages. And then I played for 3 hours, and I didn't want to stop playing because I was like, I have so much stamina and so much stuff. But it was time to watch some Olympic gymnastics, dating this episode forever, so, Simone Biles injured her calf. Shoutouts? Anyway. So I've unlocked, my other notes are from before I hit level 30. I unlocked the harder difficulties of the daily quests, that are like, EXP gathering, skill material gathering, etc., etc. I wrote here that I can get more EXP per day, but it's still not really enough. You fool. You don't know about Do It All King. So that was nice. It still recommends that I do easy, but I leveled it up to medium just because I was like, I have guys that are good enough for this, and I was right. And I needed, more EXP. When I did my poll, I didn't play with sound on today because I was busy watching the Olympics. But when I did my poll, I, looked at, there's something I really like about this game, which is that when you pull a character, you can see their voice actor in the top right corner, which is like a nice bit of credit. I'm so used to like Mahjong Soul not crediting anyone with anything that I just like appreciate when there's credit ever. I mean, the voice actors I think are credited on mahjongsoul.club, but but I didn't play with sound on, so I'm not sure. But I had 2 more polls of characters that had question marks for voice actors, which I think means that they are also unvoiced. I'll have to check this. But it is wild to me. Just how, how many characters, they're not like new characters that, they haven't recorded voice lines yet. It's just like some characters just don't have voice actors. Which I guess is what happens when you're like a low budget game like this. It's so wild. What else? I unlocked a feature where you submit your food to a food critic and you have to like guess what dish they want and then make sure it's, it has to be the right dish. It has to have the right level of appearance or texture or aroma or whatever they're looking for. And, you can submit over and over again and try and get it right. It's like a little puzzle. It's really fun. And it also prompts you to level up your dishes so that you can pass the checks. Very, very cute. for some reason there was a review on the stage where you farmed butter, which just said exotic butter. I wish I knew why. I wrote this down because it was really, really funny to me at the time. That's all. I went through my notes too fast. Anyway, this has changed my view of this game somewhat, is that, I was really frustrated with how, long it was taking me to progress through this early content, and how, directionless I felt. But now, not only do I have a giant list of things to do that will give me very good rewards, those very good rewards are allowing me to progress much faster. I also unlocked, I didn't write this down, I unlocked a, co-op battle thing. I haven't tried it because I'm nervous. But it's where you match up with another player trying to do the same co-op battle, and you use the in-game chat feature to talk to them and strategize, which is very funny. This makes me nervous for reasons I can't identify. I play MMOs. I tank in MMOs. I should be fine. But, Anyway. Only 2 more days. This makes me sad. Also, I haven't recorded very much audio this week. But I am really looking forward to playing some more. I might play for over 3 hours. In fact, I'm kind of, I just want to play Food Fantasy. It's really fun. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see whether my really good opinion of this game keeps for longer than my little honeymoon period with this level 30 stuff. So I'll see you then.
I ended up in trouble once during my travels, and it was red wine and steak who saved me.
Hello! I have stuff to talk about today, which is good, because I was worried that I really wouldn't have anything to talk about for this game that I was really excited about, which might still be true. I, had high hopes, and I've been really enjoying myself, but it hasn't lent itself to a lot of note-taking, because with Fate, everything was sort of batshit insane all the time, and with this, I'm literally just chilling. But today, we have an event. There's an event story on. I saw this yesterday, but I didn't do anything about it, because I wasn't sure whether I was high enough level to do it. But since reaching level 30 and letting everything, come up to speed and that I'm able to do all the things, I was like, okay, sure, I can probably do the event story, and I was right. All of the levels for it were, recommended level 30, and they were not hard at all. This was fascinating. Really quick, my notes for things that are not the event is that I found out that rewards have a reset within a certain period. So I got my rewards for the PvP season, and I got my restaurant earnings, and then I also got my rewards for my catacombs level, and all of those were like, okay, the season's over, time to roll over. I'm not sure when that reset actually is, or, what the cycle is, because I'm only playing this for a week, so I have no idea. So, things about the event story. The UI is different, which is fascinating. I'm not sure how long Food Fantasy has been running. I think 2 to 3 years. So I guess it makes sense that they'd have a change in there. The translation, I said in my notes it was just as bad. You will see that it actually gets worse. But the basic, idea of the event, was that you would play a little visual novel level. You got one choice in there, and depending on the results of your choice, your friendship with a character went up. One of the 2 main characters of this event, who were... I didn't write this down. Dongho Chicken and... Sour... something? Sour Cognac? I don't remember. I think it was Sour Cognac. But I took some notes on the quotes. quote, two figures of different sizes, covered in powder residue, were busy shuttling between the fire and the smoke, like the funny clowns on the stage. So you'll notice that this has sort of a feeling of machine translation to it as I, pull up some more of these quotes. I was trying to figure out what the story of this thing was. It was so hard to parse, and I think that's because it was machine translated. Because, I figured out what they're doing a cooking competition. I figured that out. But I couldn't figure out what they were making, because the start of this is like Sour Cognac is just sitting around going like, I'm so sad. And it turns out that he lost a cooking competition. And it says he has a plate of noodles beside him. And Dong Ho Chicken is like, oh, they're pretty good. But you gotta, make something to the judge's taste. And so we gotta figure out what the judges like. And da-da-da-da. And that's the, that's the idea. But then later it's like, is it a chocolate competition? Is it a cookie competition? It said noodles at the beginning. They kept referencing cake or maybe fruits. Occasionally it would say glutinous rice cakes, which feels extremely machine translated. It was just not clear at all. And the answer is that it is qiaoguo, which are little pastry fruits for the Qixi festival in China. So that's one mystery solved. But you can see why, a machine translation might translate that in, 5 different ways, because it's a specific, food. And it's a specific Chinese food, which doesn't translate well into English. I did learn, because I, fucked up my choice at one point. I kept doing choices that would give me 15 friendship with one or the other of the characters, and then I did one that only gave me 5, and I was like, shit. And so I found out that you can replay the visual novel scenes at a cost. You spend some of your magic crystals, which are the, premium currency, and then you can make another choice and get a different friendship. And when you do that, it shows what your previous choice was and what the results of it were on the screen, which is pretty nice. I said there's a lot of unlocalized Chinese in here, which I think I would understand better if I was really into wuxia novels. I have, friends that are getting into, wuxia currently, and so I've been thinking about wuxia a lot. And I've been reading a lot of Dream of the Red Chamber, and so I'm just, thinking about sort of the separate world of, people who are not, people who do not read Chinese, but who have sort of this very specific understanding of Chinese, a very specific understanding of this very specific thing. And so, I don't know, this maybe isn't true that I would understand more of this if I was really into wuxia novels, but maybe. In the same way that people are into, webtoons, or K-pop, or anime. And then they're like, I understand the cultural context. The old lady, okay, so, moving on with the story, they go to the competition, they're like, maybe instead of sweet chocolates, ? They want medicinal stuff, something not too sweet. They go to the restaurant and try and, figure out what they like. And then, they go to the restaurant and find out they're not holding the competition anymore. And they're like, what? No, but we worked so hard. And so they go, and it's like, well, the truth is, this competition was held by the restaurant owner in order to find, the type of qiaoguo that would, remind his wife, his old wife of the, qiaoguo she had as a young woman. And so, the food souls that are cooking are like, we can help with that. Quote, you want to use the power of the mustard seed space to find the old lady's memories from that time. So they go to, they use the mustard seed space, a thing we all know about. And they go back into the past and, learn about the old lady's experience with qiaoguo. And then they make a really good qiaoguo. But the old lady is named Grandma Jia. Sick Dream of the Red Chamber reference, I suppose. The name of this event is Aromatic Anticipation. I'm not sure why. I did keep reading it as Aromantic Anticipation, which was kind of funny. And then they make the thing good and everything is happy. After you're done with all of the event's story, you get rewards based on your amount of friendship with the two characters. I think mine are even between them, but you also need to sweep the event levels in order to get enough tokens to unlock their little treasure chests and get their rewards. And you can use the rewards to get event limited skins and stuff. Good times. Other things from today, I did 2 summons, I think. And my other notes are that I was, leveling up Macaron, and the voice actor does pronounce it macaroon, which means that I've lost all respect for this game and everything that it does. I was doing the review portion, and I was, trying to figure out, what food that the food reviewer wanted to evaluate, and it was well, it has to be a noodle dish, and in the noodle dish section was carrot bread. It is carrot bread, and it's it needs to have a melon ingredient. Brother, you are asking for cucumber fried rice. It is cucumber. Not cucumber fried rice, that would be weird. Cucumber and eggs, slightly less weird. From my summons, for my first summon, wildly, I got 3 characters, all of whom are unvoiced. Osmanthus Cake, Awamori, and Bing Fen. I'm kind of enjoying getting a lot of unvoiced characters, because it just, reduces the amount to which I have to hear a character, repeat the same first few words of their level up / skill up line over and over again when I'm leveling them. They're kind of annoying, and the voice direction isn't that good. Sorry, Food Fantasy. And then in my second pull, I got zongzi, udon, cold rice shrimp, foie gras, that's how you pronounce that. And all of those are nice. I don't have much to say about them. I'm using Awamori on my team now instead of Gyoza, who was my previous defense specialist, and foie gras is an ultra rare who I'm using, and have given my most powerful fallen angel to, so I guess she's my main attacker now. Other than that, I've just been sort of going through as normal. I can't make a lot of progress on the main story right now. My main story quest is currently to kill 8 hermit crabs, and I don't think I have encountered any hermit crabs. And if I have, I don't know where they are. So I'm kind of stuck. This is not great, but, living my life. Living in Peace World, doing my best. I think that's it. I'm technically done with the event because I've seen all the story, but I'm not quite done in the sense that I haven't gotten all of the rewards yet. So I suppose tomorrow I'll try and get the rewards. Maybe I'll get a skin. Maybe I'll enjoy it. I will talk to you tomorrow. See you then.
What exactly is different about you? Why does heaven always show a special concern for you?
Hello, and it's the last day of Food Fantasy, my beautiful Food Fantasy world. I'm actually really sad. It's been a weird week, because I was really, really excited about this game. And when I started, I was sort of underwhelmed. I was charmed by the fact that it was so kind of ramshackle as an operation. Sometimes it's nice to just, find a game that's, been really poorly translated and only 3 people in the world play it. I have a dear friend who does this on Steam all the time. We'll just find, something with no reviews and be like, hey, everybody, I just found my new favorite game. And I'm like, okay. Plays a lot of weird, poorly translated Chinese games, which is what this game is. So I think she would like it. But it was also just sort of underwhelming for what I wanted out of this thing, considering that I think the art is so good. I'm sad that I'm not just talking about the art on this podcast, but it's so good. And losing my train of thought. I'm sad that I'm just talking about the art because it's very good, and so I wanted the game to be really good because the art is so good. But it was not what I expected. But then the occurrence of hitting level 30, and then I started really, really liking it. And then also the event was like even worse than the main story in terms of translation, so like it got both better and worse as time went on. It was an overall fascinating experience. It's just been kind of nice to like log into it, sort of try and do... I'm a very task-oriented person. I like puzzle games because it's like, you have the objective and you complete the objective and that's literally all you do. And I also like Fantasy Life for the 3DS for that reason. And I also like MMOs for that reason. And so I like this game because, like, the review system... I'm getting my actual notes now. The review system gave me something to, like, measure my progress by. Like, whether I should be moving on in the, main battle nodes would be based for me on whether or not, like, I had the ingredients necessary to make the cuisine that was necessary for the next portion of the review, which is really fun. I've gotten to the, I want to, like, become a high-level food fantasy player. It might just stay on my phone. But I've gotten to the level of the review where they're asking me to, like, submit B-grade dishes with really high, ratings, like, the appearance needs to be at least 462, I think was one that I had today, for, bacon fried rice. Also, I had to submit, onion fried rice to this, food review, and the things it asked me for in order to determine what kind of food I needed to submit was it needs to be a rice dish, obviously, and their ingredients have to be seasoning, cereal, meat. The cereal is rice. But I thought it wanted bacon fried rice because I was like, onion fried rice doesn't have meat. And then I forgot that what they meant was onion is seasoning, and then it does have beef in it. Beef is required as an ingredient to make it. I just didn't remember. It's very strange. Everything's very strange. Again, translation problems. It's very weird. I love it very much. But then I just, like, I had, like, 700 stamina to spend, and I only have, a maximum stamina of, like, 160, so I just went around, like, getting hundreds of ingredients to level up my dishes to the appropriate level for the review, and it was a super fun time. I mean, it was, like, monotonous, but number go up. It's really awesome. My other notes for today, I always do the, disaster battles, which are, like, world, events. I think I explained this earlier, but the world events where there's a big monster and everyone has to pitch in to defeat them. And I never make even like a 0.01% point of progress on the boss's HP because I'm low level. But I do get pretty good rewards for it because I'm like, there's only like 700 people doing these, and so I'm number 700. And so they give me good points. Okay, the battles from I finally got through all of the first area's battle nodes, and so I get to move on to the next area's battle nodes, and they give you medium EXP bottles, and not small EXP bottles, so I'm free. I'm no longer in EXP drought world. World is beautiful. And I can level all my guys, and it's no problem. And so, also whenever I sweep for ingredients, like what I was doing when I was getting my review dishes up to snuff, I got a ton of medium EXP bottles while I was, like, grinding for bacon, so it was very nice. I was watching the Olympics during part of, doing this, and so I forgot to finish my note. It just says, okay, so in the higher level review challenges, you have to do multiple dishes, and you have to do... And then it ends. Okay. And then my last note is that I was looking at another character's attack descriptions, and they write bullet as pullet, and I might just be wrong, and pullet is a different thing. Sorry for the plosives that I'm going to be doing if I should pullet. I gotta high pass all these out. That's not what high pass filter does. That is what high pass filter does. That's what high pass filter does. Ivy taught me all of this. but I don't know if pullet is a thing to do with gin, which is what this character is, or whether they just have misspelled bullet. It's really funny to me. You do have to do multiple dishes for the high-level reviews. It's fun. So you have to submit both of them, and they both have to be correct. Ooh. I did do one summon that was off recording. I thought about it right after doing it, and I was like, but, whatever. But I got some really interesting characters. I got walnut porridge, miso soup, gin, previously mentioned. And the two that I really liked were... So I was looking at some of the characters for this game before I started, because I was showing off to my friends that I had found this awesome food-based gacha game where all of the waifus were food. And so I showed everyone hamburger, which is my favorite design. And today I pulled hot dog, which is just as good. And it makes me feel like if I was more familiar with the cuisine that is, the rest of these foods, that I would like them, I'd like their design a lot more. Because when it's stuff like hamburger and hot dog, I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It's really good. And then I also pulled sashimi, which was also good, because it has like a, nice watery background, and then is wearing a tunic that looks like, has the fat striations of like raw fish. It's like pink and white. It's really cool. Hot dog looks exactly like you would expect. I need you to go and look it up on the wiki, which I will link, of course, in the show notes. Please look at hot dog. Oh my god. So to cap off the episode, I'm going to, of course, do my normal things, all of my normal things, which I've been doing, obviously, for so long, and not just for one episode before this. And I'm going to do a poll as well, in order to go along with it.
Welcome back. I found several interesting novels. Do you want to see them?
That's the sound of milk tea, my preferred, menu character still. This is me claiming my daily login, because it's past rollover. And my bento delight, which is where I get 50 stamina, because it's supper time! Oh right, I put some fallen angels in the purifier earlier, and so they're not particularly interesting, but they do each have a good chance of being something good. This one's Amazake, which I already have, and then there's a chance of it being one that I want, and it's another Amazake. Okay, well, that's, what can you do? I'm gonna purify some more of them, even though I don't know whether I'll be able to come back to this game. I have strong hopes. Okay, so I have a lot of currency. I think only enough for 1 10-pole, but almost enough for 2. So I might do one on the, Feast of Creation. I think beginner banner is what it is. Content overview. Well, it doesn't really tell me. But I'll do one on wishlist summoning. Let me set my wishlist. I haven't actually set my wishlist. I've never summoned off this banner. I'll just do some SRs that I don't have that look good. I am trying to, see anything. They won't tell me anything about these characters if I click on them. They're just, faces. This guy looks... I like the twins. There's a pair of twins. That's kind of fun. I'll do this, Kaguya-hime-esque woman, and then I'll do the emo. That's a fun selection. Confirm. And then summon 10x.
It's our first time meeting. I'm Chocolate.
That's Chocolate. Mike Woodley is the voice for Chocolate. That's an SR that I don't have. That's kind of nice.
A bitter, yet mellow taste. This is exactly the kind that will linger in your mouth after just one sip, never allowing you to forget it. I am coffee. I'd be pleased to receive your guidance.
I've seen this guy before, Coffee, voice actor, Jeff Shine. Just a rare. I don't actually have him yet, so this is a fun new one. But I've seen this guy before in a CG. I actually really like him. I think he has, like, sugar cubes attached to his belt, which is really cute. He's sort of... Oh, and his jacket turns into, like, liquid at the ends. That's cool. Yeah, I like this guy. I like his vibe. It's a copy.
A bitter, yet mellow taste.
This happens every time you pull one that you've, or it just plays the intro every single time. It's really funny. The thing that I like about how summoning works in this game is that if I get distracted in the middle of my summon, I don't, like, miss out on learning what I got. Because everything you pull, even if it's just a rare, you have to click out of in order to progress your pull. So I see literally everything. It gives me a pause in between so I can, choose to progress or not. Very, very nice. Slow, but nice. Also give you a little silhouette before they show up. This is Sakura Mochi.
It seems like you may have some worries. Can you tell me about them?
Thank you, Sakura Mochi. Also a rare, I already have her.
There is thus no color in emptiness.
Oh my god.
Acceptance, thought, behavior, and knowledge. There is no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. There is no sight, sound, sense. Oh my, I'm guilty of sin. This poor monk that is I, miso soup, is meant to be an honorable monk.
I don't understand what this intro is. I didn't hear it voiced the first time because I pulled him earlier while I had my sound off. This is Chris Neosi, who's doing a pretty good job. I like the performance of that laugh. That's miso soup. Thanks, miso soup. He's guilty of sin.
Oh my, I didn't expect to meet you in such a situation. Are you feeling hungry? Then let me cook for you.
I don't know what this food is. It's, ume ochazuke, which I'm not familiar with, which I can look it up. Ume ochazuke. It is pickled plum. Rice. Oh, it's tea on rice with pickled plum. I gotcha. I like tea on rice. Tea on rice is good. Admittedly, I gained a fondness for tea on rice from, like, fucking watching the beginning of Bungo Stray Dogs, which I don't even like that much, but it did give me an eternal yearning for tea on rice. Just like tea on rice. I kind of suspected that this might be what that is. I've never heard Ume Ochazuke before. That's Christina V. Thank you, Christina V. I don't have this character yet, but it's just a rare. This is Milk.
Even if I am not familiar with something, I will do my best to help you in any way.
You understand why I didn't like having her on the menu, because she just sounds like this all the time. And I appreciate Christina V, but I just, even if I am not familiar with something, it's like, okay.
Hello?
This is, Junyang. I already have Junyang. Stephanie Kamure, Little Child, rare.
Oh my, your master attendant? You really are a beauty. Let me take good care of you from now on.
It's orange juice. Mariev Harrington. She has a look, and I don't really like it, but I appreciate the big straw that she holds.
Oh, I didn't expect anyone to remember me. Yes, I'm Lava Condi, and I am awesome.
It's Erica Mendez as Lava Kanji. Again, I'm not really familiar with Lava Kanji, so that's the wonder of having a computer in front of you. Lava Kanji. Chinese ceremonial kanji. Eaten during the Lava Festival. Very helpful. What is it? Red beans. nuts and dried fruits, rice, beans, dried fruit, etc. Okay, this doesn't really help, but it's just a congee. I appreciate that. Made up of many kinds of rice. Cool. Chill. That's super rare. I don't have her, so that's kind of nice. I say as though I care about any of this very much. And that's all for my pull. Yay! Woo! So a pull like that was 1,500 soul embers, but I still have 1,350 soul embers, which is just sort of frustrating, because I'm really close to having another pull, but I don't quite have it. I can go, like, collect my daily rewards. Oh, there's another 50! Ah! I can go, you know, ascend my food souls. Oh my god, they talk over each other. They talk over themselves if you, like, do things too fast, which is really overwhelming.
I'm here. Master, if I can make more people's troubles disappear.
You know?
Master Attendant, welcome back. This is to show that I have improved. Right?
So scary. They're so scary. I say, talking about how I really like this game and respect it a lot. I was gonna genuinely see if I could get any more. Oh my god, I'm just 50 away! Save me! The restaurant just, like, give me 50. No. No, because you hate me.
My notebook has disappeared. Master Attendant, I need to find it.
My chef is out of energy. I gotta switch to sandwich. I gotta put my guys in the ice arena. Somehow one of them is already tired, even though I just got them from the gacha. I don't understand why, but that's okay. Is there any? It's okay. We'll do a 6 summon, and it'll be nice. It's the Feast of Creation. I'm not sure what's different about this summon, but you can only summon 6 instead of 10, so we'll do a quick 6 summon. And I haven't actually pulled on this banner either, so we'll just see how it goes. Something good, I hope? That looks like something good. That's just a rare.
Someday we will fight alongside each other. Huh? Where did my younger sister go?
I'm not sure who Doriaki's younger sister is. I think it's Taiyaki.
Our first meeting. I'm Alma Rice. I'm the loyal leader of Jello's fan club. Hey, do you want to join?
It's funny because the voice actor reads this as Jello's fan club, but it's written as Jello's support team. I'm not sure why Alma Rice is supporting Jello, but, you know, whatever works. Also just a rare I already have.
Oh, hey! You're the one who has summoned me! I'm so happy. Will you treat me kindly?
This is Macaron, who is pronounced as Macaroon. Ooh.
Master Attendant, hello. I am Mango Pudding. I hope that I can be with you from now on.
What a milquetoast intro. Thanks, Mango Pudding. That's Brandy Cup. That's a super rare I don't have. Very fun.
Attendant, that sounded really terrific. So then, let Big Sister accompany you.
That's Spicy Gluten. I already have her. It's very funny that she's just called Spicy Gluten. It's not specific. I appreciate it. She has a big whip. Here's another one.
Attendant, that sounded really terrific.
It's really funny when I see a voice actor has done multiple characters for this game, because, like, I'm happy for you. Okay, that's all for that. Not super exciting. Unfortunately, I can't do a lot more. But that was nice. That was very pleasant. I like this game. It's a fun time. I'm just, like, you know, collecting all my rewards obsessively next to the microphone, as though that will sort of help you understand how I feel about things generally. Let me play a couple more lines where people talk over themselves.
You've arrived.
Well, I
Such
also
a long
want to try
time.
playing something
It seems
new.
like you still
Thank you, Spicy
don't
Gluten.
understand your
Master Attendant, I've been waiting for you for so long.
I wanted to let that one play, because this is Macaron.
It's me, Macaroon!
There you go.
So happy.
It's me, Macaroon! That's the line that plays when you ascend her. I don't understand. I was also really hoping I'd get someone to bond up, assuming that's a thing in this game, but I couldn't quite, which is a little disappointing. Hey, there's the last 50 soul embers I was looking for. A little too late. Anyway, there's also a global chat in this game, which I never mentioned. That's because it was mostly, dominated by people speaking Russian, but occasionally I see English messages in there, and it's kind of nice. That filled up a little bit of time in this rather short episode, I think. Anyway, I think we can move on to the everyone's favorite part of the episode, my favorite part of the episode, which is the content addictiveness Kinsey evaluation, the cake scale. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about this for this game, because I have a lot of opinions on this game, and I'm the only one in the world who has a lot of opinions on this game. That's not true. The Reddit user I stole this recommendation from also has a lot of opinions about this game. But I consider myself the foremost archivist of food fantasy content and scholar, of course, completely unverified after a week of playing it. And so only I am qualified to speak on the official cake scale rating of this game. So I need to make sure that I'm assessing it fairly and properly. The content of food fantasy is what it promises to be, which is that it's a standard RPG, an auto-battler RPG, with restaurant management elements. The restaurant management elements are a significant part of the gameplay experience, which is really nice. And the auto-battling is honestly not that significant a part of the gameplay experience, which is really funny, considering that it's basically the entire, set of game mechanics that you're getting things to level for. I probably just think this because I'm not at a high level, but still, that's what my experience has been. I've mostly just been, using the autocomplete for these battles to get the ingredients I need so that I can be better at making food, which is very fulfilling to me, so I can't complain. The writing in this game is bad. Or maybe it's not bad, but at the very least it's extremely badly translated / localized. And not to mention that the events seem transparently machine translated, with, no voice acting for things other than just, battle lines, which is also true of Fate, so that's a way that you can compare the two of them. I think, all in all, the content of this game is, interesting. It's an idle amusement. It's a thing that I turn on because I like seeing numbers go up, and I think this is a fascinating little bug to poke at. But it's not, revolutionary or really engaging. And so, I don't know. That feels like, maybe I'm rating this too highly just because I sort of enjoyed the experience of getting into this game for the most part. And because I, have a fondness for the concept, and because I don't know, what my scale is. But I think that's 4 behavior, is to be, fulfilling. Sometimes a gacha game is a full-time job. This was extremely not that. It didn't take up too much of my time. I could play it muted while just, doing other stuff. I sometimes would play Food Fantasy and Olympus Company Mirror Dungeon at the same time, which is kind of trippy, as opposed to Fate, where I would just focus on it basically the entire time that I was playing, because it was it just wouldn't let me rest. As for addictiveness, I did say several times that I was missing Food Fantasy when I was done playing, or I couldn't quite put it down. It has a quality to it, some kind of ephemeral quality that is maybe just the novelty of a food-based gacha game, that just kept me coming back to it and genuinely really enjoying myself. So I really am inclined to rate it pretty highly. on addictiveness, it's a higher rating than its content rating, which means it's a 5 or a 6. It's not a 6 because I'm not thinking about it every single moment of my life, but it is a 5. I also was really hungry for Pulse, because I like seeing all of these characters. I didn't even, pulling wasn't actually helping me at all. I didn't need new characters to progress. I just wanted them so I could look at them and have them, which is, I think, the definition of sort of gacha addiction. Of course, the definition of gacha addiction for me, a person who doesn't spend money on these things. And then Kinsey scale number. The Kinsey scale number on this one, your avatar is assumed to be male. But as far as I could tell, there wasn't really any kind of romantic overture with you and your guys, except for, what they would tell you in menus. Nothing in the story, certainly, that implies that they have, a romantic devotion to you. It's just spicy gluten offering to, step on you. And occasionally Peking Duck being like, oh, the children. And honestly, that's pretty high Kinsey scale behavior. But it's hard. I can't give another game a 3, because this game doesn't have, a potent bisexual energy like Fate did. But it's, I want to give it a 4, because it's, more than incidentally homosexual. More than incidentally queer, is my point. But it's also, kind of sterile as far as these things go. So I can't give it, a high number, because it's just, it's not doing that much. It's just sort of palpably a little fruity, to say the least. I thought it was really clever for that one, and I just sort of wanted you all to enjoy it. I don't have a co-host to laugh at me, so I just have to, leave a dramatic pause after my jokes. It's really sad. Everyone should wish Ivy well for recovering from surgery, etc. So that leaves us with a 454, which I'm pretty happy with. Let me see if we've ever rated a main episode character with those numbers like I did last time. 454, 454, nope. Does not appear. The Gacha World Tour characters, of course, because there are a lot of them, are not included on our little list. And I'm not including the ones that I've done, but I know the last one was not a 454, so I'm counting it as a new entry into the canon. I need to be able to start making a graph. Ivy told me that I should make a graph, but I'm not doing that, so I need people to start making a graph. I think that's all for Food Fantasy. It was a fun time. I encourage people to, contact me on co-hosts and tell me about your favorite obscure gacha games. It's something that I really relish learning about. I was talking to a good friend about, their favorite obscure gacha game recently. It's really, really fascinating. There's lots of things I considered playing for this series, but didn't. Ultimately, I mostly chose things that were within a certain formula, and Food Fantasy was my one pick that was, outside of that kind of, regular, all of this relates to a theme kind of thing. This is this is my parallel to World Flipper for the, Great Gacha World Tour. Something new, something interesting, something weird. I'm doing a whole thing. I think it's good. It's hard to end out a show, but, I hope you enjoyed. I will, normally at this point in the episode, we would hit a random button, and as for the Great Gacha World Tour, Ivy would, message a co-host and have them react. But I have neither of those things. I just have my own cleverness. But I would say that the place that we're going to be going next week is, I should have thought up a good one before I started. There's something I want to say, but I feel like I'm gonna, be too tempted to repeat it for the fourth one. So I'll just say that this is somewhere that will ring a bell. That long dramatic pause is so that everyone who remembers this or listens to this late and can see what the next one is can laugh at my ingenuity. Okay, so it's time for my little boat to paddle off to waters running with more salmon than this one. I enjoyed the fresh fish, but as always, I'll see you when I can make port on the next stop of my voyage. And until then, catchphrase. Bye-bye.